Little birdie told me I'd an RV advice.
Get information straight from the horse's mouth.
Little birdie told me I'd an RV advice.
It's Just Ask Gigi with Gigi Stetler and Tom Alexander. Now here's Gigi and Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Just Ask Gigi. My name's Tom Alexander, and of course, as always, I am joined by, there she is, Gigi Stetler. Hey, Gigi, how are you?
Hey, good, but I'm a little confused. Aren't I always on the other side?
Are you? Well, you know.
It's okay. Let's try this side. It's
okay.
okay.
We can do that. I you know, on my screen it looks like you're on the normal side, but you know, this Zoom thing gets a little weird. It depends on you know, how it's feeling that day. So, but anyway, you look good. You look energized and charged and ready to go for
always. And you got me late in the day too, so I'm on my.
I know. I mean,
on my second wind, maybe. I don't know.
Second wind. You know, it's funny because you know, today was just one of those days where everything just hit at once. We had a bunch of podcasts we had to do, and it's been just spiraling out of control, but in a good way. In a good way.
Okay,
you know, we got a lot of stuff going on. So, but so we had to, you know, do a late recording of Just Ask.
That's quite okay. We've been a little crazy here at HQ because we've got, you know, we did hurricane relief in Louisiana and Lake Charles, and now we've got like 17 families living in RVs and a new hurricane heading right for them. So
I'll tell you, what a year.
I know, and we're trying to like get the campers out of harm's way and relocate the families, which there's no hotels. So it's been quite a challenging day. And then we don't know yet if it's going to hit, and you know, so, or in that we don't know where it's going to hit, but Lake Charles is mainly where most of our campers are. So, so if it goes a little left, you know, go to Mississippi or New Orleans. If it goes a little right, it hits Lake Charles, and we don't want to, you know, disrupt these people if we don't have to. So we're kind of in limbo. So it's been a strange.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that 2020 is the year that keeps on taking. You know, it just like it's been a crazy year, and it's not over. You know, and it's not just COVID and hurricanes. I mean, you know, we found out yesterday that two musical titans, Eddie Van Halen, passed away, which is really terrible. And although he was a little bit older, I can see clearly now.
I can see clearly now. Yeah, he just passed away last night, I think.
Yeah,
right, at 81.
Johnny Nash. Yeah,
Johnny Nash he was 81, so
yeah.
He lived a full life. But Eddie Van Halen is like so sad. I was listening to some stuff this morning, and you know, he was thinking that he got cancer from the, you know, he used to like have a guitar and an aluminum piece used to be in his mouth or something, and he's thinking like that's what, you know, where it originated from. So
yeah. Well, unfortunately too, he was for a long time he was a kind of a heavy smoker too. So I know that.
Yeah, and they talked about that too, and you know, so
that's a shame.
I know
that's a shame. But yeah, you know, it's funny. Last thing on him, I was going to say was, you know, rarely does an artist gain the respect of not only fellow musicians, but fans across multiple styles of music.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like,
it's very rare that happens. I mean, rockers love them, and all kinds of people, pop people.
Pouring into, I know. I was
all over the place. His music touched a lot of people. But anyway. Rest in peace, Eddie.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. So we've got contracts today, and I know that folks are, you know, as we've said on the show the last several months now, that the industry is booming. People are out there buying or renting RVs, and contracts are critical, and who better to talk to than you?
You know, I just thought that I don't want to spend my time on cleanup, you know, and fixing people's problems and stuff like that. So I want to like meet them head on and just give you, you know, just some of the things to look for. You know, I was pulling stuff out of, you know, dealers' contracts that I had noticed, you know, and I'm just going to spout them out and give, you know, just a couple of examples of number number one. And, you know, it's not that I'm doing a commercial for GPS. You can, you know, but someone needs to, you know, watch your back, or at least, you know, if you don't hire me, look for these things in your contract, because they will get you. They will sting you. I promise you. You know, the first thing that's on every buyer's order that you sign when you buy it new or used, in big bold letters, it's going to say as is.
Yeah.
So you obviously know that you're, and you know, when you think about, you know, an as is paragraph and you're buying a new vehicle, well, how would it be as is if it has a manufacturer's warranty? So there's a disclaimer, and it's always telling you that you're basically buying this as is, subject to the manufacturer's warranty, but it's not really telling you in the contract that they're obligated to do the repairs under the manufacturer's warranty. It doesn't really say that. So you want to give some clarification, you know, and also in that as is paragraph. So if you were buying a used vehicle and you were, you know, knowing that it doesn't have any manufacturer's warranty, whether you buy an extended warranty or not, or this or that, don't sign the contract yet and give the deposit if you're signing that you've inspected it already, because that's in a paragraph somewhere deep into the woods on somewhere else in the contract. It's going to say that you've already inspected this RV and accepted it in its current condition. So let's say you just saw it on the lot, but you haven't seen it plugged in and you haven't seen anything working and all of that. You just signed this contract saying that you bought it as is. Oops, sorry, the air doesn't work. Oh, well, you already own it. So these are, you know, that's a big problem. And and if they don't get you on the front of the contract, the language is in the back of the contract, you know. So that's, you know, that's one example. And the other thing is, if you're ordering a unit, and I can tell you for sure that on an ordered unit, especially now, there's going to be language in that contract, on the back of the contract or somewhere in there, that if the manufacturer has a price increase, you've got to pay whatever it is. So it's basically telling you you're going to have a price increase. So you sign a contract saying, I'm going to pay $50,000 for that RV or whatever the price is.
Right.
And that thing comes in 3-4 months old, and you give a deposit, and that thing comes in a few weeks later, a month later, or whatever, and it went up $6,000. Guess what? You owe the $6,000, or you lost your deposit, because then you're going to see, you're going to see a failure to close on your contract, and you're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your deposit. So, you know, another thing is, I've seen this happening a lot lately, where dealers are because these people are buying off the internet. If you're buying off the internet and you know you're not going to register it in the state that you're buying it, and a dealer hands you a blank MSO. MSO is a manufacturer certificate of origin. It's not even really a title yet. It needs to go to the DMV and be processed to become a title first. So it's not that easy to go get yourself a tag. And when you have an MSO, you need all sorts of affidavits and things like that. Force the dealer to collect the sales tax from the state that you're living in, and force them to either do it or try not to buy it out of state, or you know, let me see the paperwork so I can guide you through that. Because I got a couple of members that are sitting in a campground, can't get a tag for their vehicle. It's been a year and they can't register it because they don't know how to register. You can't register an MSO. It's not that simple. Only a dealer can do that. So that's, you know, that's a scary situation. Let me read some more stuff in these contracts. Yeah, very important about the failure to complete the purchase. That's in the fine print on the back, and it could be anything. The RV could have a hole in the roof, or the air conditioner's not working, and the dealer doesn't, you know, agree to fix it, or, you know, or whatever, and you don't close, you lose your deposit, even if there's something wrong. Because remember what it said on the front page: as is, as is, as is. You own that thing. So failure to close, you give them your trade-in as a down payment, you've lost your trade. They'll sell that thing and off it will go. You know, the other thing is in the contracts, beware of statutes of limitations. a lot of dealers have statute of limitations of bringing in action against them.
Mhm.
And the problem with that is, let's say, you have your 1-year manufacturer's warranty and you're, trying to work it out, and the dealer, tells you you've got, trying to give you an appointment 4 months out, 5 months out, and then you're stalling and they're waiting for parts, and then this and that. And then they get, right at the end of your warranty, they get a few things fixed, and then that's the end of it. Your warranty's out. But worse than that, your 1-year statute of limitations is gone, so you could never bring an action against them. So a lot of dealers will do that on purpose and drag out the warranty process until you're out of warranty or out of statute of limitations.
Right.
Very important. If it has a statute of limitations clause and they won't cross it off, walk away. You have to be prepared to walk away from some of these things, because it's not, if they know that you want it bad enough, and people are not reading these contracts, they're not reading the back page, they're not reading the second page, the third page, the back of the front page. There's so many things that they're not reading, and they've got you over a barrel. So, those are just a few tips. There's so many more. There's so much more language in these contracts that I'm looking at. It's like, I think I showed you once before, our buyer's order is 1 page. It's 1 page. There's nothing on the back. And
is there, do states differ too? Like, are there things that are specific to a state that you're in that have X amount of rules that you have to be familiar with, or is it?
Well,
not
a
really?
lot of the language that's in the contracts,
besides taxes and things like that.
Yeah, there's, like if there's statutes of limitations, normally they'll put like 1 year or 2 years. It's usually 1 year.
Mhm.
There's really, when you talk about the different states, it's the choice of venue, and that's the other thing you want to be careful with, because you could do business, let's say, with a store that has multiple locations, and let's say that you buy from the closest dealer to your house, okay?
Right.
Closest of their dealerships.
Mhm.
And not knowing, all of the laws, the choice of venue could be their corporate headquarters, 3,000 miles away from you. So, you're thinking that you can bring an action in the state that you bought it from, and not the state that you signed the contract in. So,
Yeah.
it could be wherever it's the dealer's choice of venue, and you're signing and agreeing to it.
Right.
So the other thing that you're waiving your rights to, which I've seen a lot of this in contracts, is you're waiving your rights to a jury trial, and you're waiving your rights to a class action.
Yeah.
Dealers that put that language in about waiving your rights to a class action lawsuit, they got a lot of issues. That's when you have to look them up and see what's going on, because any dealer that's fearful of a class action has multiple problems. They have a pattern of multiple problems. Like Camping World, it is in every one of their contracts across the United States. You waive your right to a class action. So,
do you know how many ballpark locations they have in the country?
I think they had like 167 stores. I actually don't know what
we talk about.
I know it's like 60%. 60%
of the market, right? Yeah, which is incredible. So yeah,
possibly more than that. Another interesting trick. I had a couple that had hired me, and they're in the looking stages to purchase, and they want a fifth wheel, and so they had gone to. I had asked them, who their local dealer were, and they said Gander Outdoors, and I said, well, that's Camping World, and they said, no, it's not, and I said, yeah, that's owned by Camping World. That's the new brand. So the salesman at this store, and I think it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, or whatever. The salesman in the store actually told the customer that Gander is a new company and has nothing to do with Camping World. And so I had the guy just look you know, just kind of go do some Google searching but he actually called me back and couldn't believe that they actually lied to him that blatantly, that, you know, they're trying to attempt to rebrand themselves, you know, to get away from all of their, you know, bad publicity
Right.
and stuff. But that was pretty blatant lie.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, just really, you know, it's really buyer beware. And I hope, you know, that whether you hire me or not, just look for some of those paragraphs and make sure you read the back page, front page, the third page, however many pages they have.
Yeah, the fine print and everything. It's critical that you know,
and
it's a lot to unpack sometimes, but it really would, it's the smart move to make. Make sure you got everything read and understood. If you don't understand it, find someone who does.
You know,
I'm talking to that person, by the way.
Ordered units especially, because right now, you know, they all have that in their paragraph that, you know, on a manufacturer's price increase, and I can assure you that you're going to have an increase whether the factory has an increase or not. That's just a way for them to get more money out of you. You know, you need, if you're going to agree with the deal, I can't even tell you how many, just last week alone, how many customers I had, how many members I had that told me that they had negotiated a price, signed a contract, got a credit app, got it already, their financing approved, and the salesman called them and told them that there's $5,000 or $6,000 price increase. Quite a few of them in the last week, which was shocking. And, you know, so if you don't close, remember the paragraph that says failure to purchase. So if you don't close and you got a price increase, you already waived your right to refusing to pay the price increase. So it's just a way for them to keep your deposit and then move on to another sale. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So make the dealer put in writing that, you know, if you agree to a price, that there will be no more price increase and this is your final price. Make them put that in writing. And if they don't want to agree to do that because they say that they don't have any way of knowing what the factory price increase is, walk away.
Yeah. Run, don't walk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, we've got some questions for you coming up on the other side. And that was obviously a lot of very helpful information. Those contracts are critical. And if you're unclear, then find someone who understands them. And GiGi is choice number one. Let me put it that way. This is Just Ask GiGi. She's GiGi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. Take a quick break. Back in a moment.
The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org.
We are back on Just Ask GiGi, along with GiGi Stetler. My name's Tom Alexander, and as always, GiGi, we've got a couple of questions for you.
Awesome.
And this is interesting. I don't think we've gotten these before. Dan writes, he just purchased something, a fixer-upper, and he wants to know about flooring. And he said there's a few spots that appear to the naked eye a little weak. Any thoughts on flooring, do's and don'ts?
Well, the first thing you need to pull up the linoleum or wherever it's soft, and hope and pray that it's not a styrofoam floor. Because if it's a styrofoam floor, you've got to really know what you're doing to support that. Some of these floors are like 16 on center and there's no support, so you have to kind of frame it in. So it may not be as easy as you think replacing some of those floors. So if it is a styrofoam floor, you can always reach out to us and I can give you some hints on how to fix it. If it's a regular wood structure wood floor, just cut out and hopefully you can find some beams to tie into and replace it with 3/4 inch plywood.
Excellent.
And then one more thing, if you're going to put linoleum down, you can't, linoleum will not stick on top of old glue. So you have to put Luan on top of the floor once you strip it. And no more than 1/8 inch, they call it Luan or door skin, no more than 1/8 inch thick, or if you have a slide room, you'll interrupt the slide. So, and then you can put your tile on top of that.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, Dan, for that question. And this is another fixer-upper question, actually, from Carrie. Wants to put some new windows in, had some leakage, and wants to get an idea of a good brand of windows to use.
Oh, well, good luck with that, because there are thousands of RVs sitting in the field right now with no windows because they're all in back order. The only RV real window manufacturer is Hare, H-A-R-E. And you might be able to get maybe all right aluminum, but you have to go to a dealer for that, and maybe reach out to the dealer of the manufacturer. But windows are a little bit hard to come by right now. So it might not be the window.
Why is that? Why are they so right now?
They're probably made, or the frames are made in China, or the glass is made in China, and there's just a shortage of so much supplies. But it might not be the window itself that's leaking. Most likely it's around the window, and it just needs to be caulked. Windows themselves don't leak unless the glass is broken.
Right.
You can get the glass replaced. Just go to a door and window glass place, take the window out, and have the glass replaced.
There you go. Okay, there you go, Carrie. I hope hopefully that helped. Thanks to Dan and Carrie. If you want to ask Gigi a question right here on Just Ask Gigi, very simple. Just write info@thervadvisor.com. That's info@thervadvisor.com, and just put it Just Ask Gigi, or JAG, J-A-G, and then just ask your question, and we'll get your question on and have Gigi answer it for you. Want to also remind you that the RVadvisor.com is your source for things that really can help you along the road, along the way, with all the service, roadside assistance, tire and wheel, and so forth. It's the RVadvisor.com. And remember this, folks, we've got the RVACA.org. RVACA.org. What's that? Well, the manufacturers have a voice in Washington, as do the dealers. We're working toward getting you a voice, the consumer, at the table as well. And it's RVACA.org. You can go there and register your RV, very important. And that's always a good idea. And as we have been telling you for several months now, we're helping provide, I should say, isolation units for those fighting COVID on the front lines, doctors and medical personnel that don't want to infect their family and friends, and they need a place to stay and live during this time. Yeah. And so if you have an RV that you can lend for a period of time, it's a temporary lend, of course, let us know via RVACA.org, or if you don't have one and want to just make a monetary contribution, you can do that too at RVACA.org. And also, there's the, and I'm going to let you share this piece of information for helping autism. RVing
for autism, yes. We would love to get that off the ground, so we could use some contributions so that we can. We've got some requests, and for families that would like to take their kids camping, and we want to be able to give them a week-long stay across the country. So we would love your help. But I also have another request that all of you Northerners who are about to winterize your RVs and put them in storage up north, if you'd like to make some money on them, I'm in need of some RVs right now to house families in Louisiana, and I would pick it up, pay you for a 6-month rental, and we can house some families. So if you want to think about that, reach out to us at the info at the RV Advisor, and or RVACA, either one. Actually, if you reach out on the rvaca.org and send me a message, if you do choose to help us, I not only will pay you, but you can also get a tax deduction, because we are a 501c and we are in desperate need. That half of Lake Charles is disappeared, and now the storm is heading that way again. So anyway, we could really use some RVs, and if they're sitting in storage, they're will be paid by insurance and stuff, so they'll be well cared for. So we could really use your help.
You know, GiGi, in the year or so, a little longer than a year now that I've been doing the podcast, and of course doing Just Ask GiGi for a long time, one thing I've learned more than anything, and it's just a continuing theme, is the community of RVers, and the family that's just, it's a huge family. And really, and it's amazing how people are so helpful, generous with their time and things that they'll do. And it never ceases to dazzle me and inspire me. I hear it all the time, these great stories of outreach and people just doing what they can to help their
it's so true. And it's so true, like RVers in general. And I've been sitting on it for a while, but I would love for our community, of calling them the Good Samaritans. And we actually have the .com for that, so that's something very, I think that we should put together a group of all of us and joining in with the RV Odd Couple and the Odd Squad, and putting all of us together and making everyone Good Samaritans that they are, and start rewarding everybody. It just I think it'll be fun. It'll be what that's what we are, RVers.
Yeah, strength in numbers. It's pretty awesome, and the RV community is really impressive. So anyway, well, that's another show, another Just Ask GiGi, and we'll be back again next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition. For GiGi Stetler, I'm Tom Alexander. We thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.
Bye.